Hello, hello, hello! Welcome, well met. Welcome to the stream. I'm Leona Theodosia, and today we are playing the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles once again. And I'm excited. Like I was saying yesterday at the end of Princess Peach Showtime, we might be getting it so that we have, depending on how far we get today, we might be able to finish off this episode Monday. So I'm looking forward to that. This one's a good one. We're getting to some good parts today, actually. Anyway, my impatient excitement is there. Let's see. Jump right into it then, and I need to remember which button to push because my mind likes going blank at the most inopportune times. Okay, Missy, you definitely gotta go today. You're gonna be in the way, little buddy. I'm sorry. But you are. Alright, so I have it on the options menu as per usual because otherwise the Switch has a touch screen, so sometimes it gets touched and it does things I don't want it to do, so I always keep it on the pause menu. Alright, so we're just about to have a second round of testimony from these three. As I said, Balthazar Lune is no liar. Every balloon I had in the sky landed safely. All three of my balloons were carrying passengers. If they fell to the ground in an episode, what a catastrophe. I guess. Could you just say English words? I don't know how to pronounce it in Italian. You can't get away from the fact that a burnt-up bit of cloth was found at the scene yet, can ya? Coppers at the yard reckon it was probably some debris thrown from the explosion on the stage. This stupid Ragazal is mistaken. My balloons have red and blue zigzag stripes anyway. So it's not some of his balloons. Yeah. You know, this is so weird for me because I have been playing Apollo Trilogy off sync. So I'm like, oh right, we're Ryunosuke, we're not Apollo. Oh, this is my gift for playing different games from the same series. Doesn't help the fact that I think Ryunosuke is more like Apollo than he is like to his descendant to Phoenix. Phoenix is such a little hellion, and when things go south, he doesn't take it very well. At all. Anyway. As I thought, Mr. Lune's testimony just doesn't quite add up. A young bohemian boy claims to have seen another fourth balloon. Wait. I just did Turnabout Serenade. Wait, is a little prince like... He looks like Vichy. What is it? Sounds like Marquis. So it's Machi? Marquis? Marquis? It might be pronounced key. Anyway. Maki. The bohemian boy claims to have seen another fourth balloon. But Mr. Lune vehemently denies the possibility. Hard to imagine the man in charge would be so mistaken about the number that were in the air. Still, this isn't an inconsistency. I must tell us something, I'm sure. I'm sure it does. Yeah, I'll save. I'm already here. What's the safety say? I'm like, I need to present evidence somewhere, but where? That's probably one of the problems in these games. It's like, you can be like, oh, I can present it here and spin it this way, but then other times it's like, no, that's not what the game is going. It's going a different direction. I've mentioned this before, actually. A few times. That's the problem with this. I usually think of some other harebrained way something will go, and then it's like, the game's like, no, that's not where this is going. I'm like, dang it. And sometimes I'm like, I tried to say that like 2 testimonies ago, but you didn't bring it up. And now I'm here, and I'm like, haha, I was right. Okay, but, do I immediately put the balloon?
Objection!
No, I don't. This is why I save. Usually quicker, at least in this game. Some of the earlier games, the penalties are pretty quick, but in the Great Ace Attorney, they're usually longer, and I'm like, I don't need to hear everyone rag on poor Ryunosuke for my dumb mistake. All three of my balloons were carrying passengers as fell to the ground explosion. What a catastrophe. The fact that burned up bit of cloth. Maybe I just need a press. Let's see. Maybe I just need some more information. You couldn't just have forgotten one, maybe. Senor. What was that voice? I might not notice if I was giving 100 lentils and one was missing. But we are talking about 3 enormous balloons. Do you believe that I could make a mistake about something so grand and expensive? I took the liberty of having Inspector Gregson check this gentleman's warehouse. I have the report here. Clearly set. A total of 3 balloons. Thank you, Van Zeeks. Would appear no mistake has been made then. Only Miss Lestrade could have been sent for such a menial task. What? Me? I'll tell you what I told the boss. East End kids like me can only count up to 2. Obviously that ain't true, but the boss bought it and said he'd have a go himself in that case. Ah. Ryunosuke's like, why am I the most responsible one here? In a courtroom with no small number of adults. Well, older adults, I should say. Ryunosuke isn't actually. He is in his 20s. He is an adult. I keep forgetting this too. I'm terrible. Let's see. This has gone on to the next. Hold it! That's my bad again. Oh, hello, Margaret. Welcome, welcome. It would be quite a catastrophe if they fell to the ground for any reason, I think. On that note, Mr. Lune, tell me, what is it that keeps these balloons in the sky? Ooh, this might be helpful. Are you an idiota? Sorry? That is like asking, why does a candle burn bright? It burns bright because it burns bright. And a balloon flies because it flies. What else? Ah. This must be Italian for I don't know. Oh, Fancy is gonna tell us. Thank you, Fancy. I love it when he steps in and is just like, sigh, begrudgingly fills people in on information. I just realized Ben Zeeks would be one terrifying guy to have as a teacher. Look at that mug. You also know that people would have hard eyes for him still, though. He'd like scare a good portion of his class. The other half, well, one half is intimidating, and the other half is just like hard eye. You know people would be. Anyway, besides my random musings. There are 2 types of flying balloons. Hot air balloons, gas balloons. Hot air balloons work on the principle of hot air being less dense than cold air. Whereas gas balloons derive their lift by using a gas that is lighter than air. See, my balloons are filled with magic gas, I believe. Hydrogen, lighter than air, but highly explosive. Good lord! Do not permit smoking of cigarettes in any of my balloons. The magic gas does not like fire. Are we sure this man needs a better education about the freaking exploding balloons he has? A small spark of static electricity could cause the entire balloon to explode. What's the matter with you, senor? All that comes out of your mouth is explosion, explosion. I tell you, my balloons are perfectly safe. They have to be, or I cannot eat. None of my balloons exploded that day. I am completely sure. But if you still say that is what happened, you must show me the proof. Alright, so Mr. Lune had 3 balloons in the air that day. None of them were damaged. And what was the one that exploded? He's so confused. Can't get away from the fact that a burnt up bit of cloth was found at the scene, can ya? Can you tell me more about that, Gina? Actually, I think my headphones might be a little quiet. Turn that up. I can actually hear now. Wait, let me check you guys too while I'm at it. Yeah. This should be. I was surprised to find the piece of fabric still at the scene, actually. Didn't you search the area surrounding the stage for clues? Nah, I'm not into picking stuff up off the ground, me. Always works out better diving into people's pockets instead. Gina! Gina! Girl! Why are you like this? Well, I know why, but still. Gina! So much for the new career path. Mind you, the boss was on his hands and knees picking up all kinds of rubbish from the floor. Thing is, though, the cage went crashing into the crystal tower, didn't it? So that's where most of the investigation was going on. Even so, I would have thought someone from Scotland Yard would have gathered up it as evidence. Poor, listen to you. You stumble across a wee bit old balloon and suddenly you're the best investigator in the world. Pardon? Well, you ain't got a badge, have ya? Like this one. I could arrest you with this if I wanted to. I don't think you could do that, Gina, without probable cause. She would find some way. You know Gina would. She would. She's so funky. I love Gina so much. I wouldn't put it past her. Come to think of it, there was talk of some scorching on the ground at a meeting we had about the investigation. Okay, this is we're talking about. Okay, maybe not. Let's press. There was considerable damage to the stage and surrounding area, wasn't there? Yeah, some of the coves were watching the experiment were caught in the blast and injured. Good job the old contraption didn't keel over, eh? I hadn't even considered that. Seems there was great panic after the incident occurred. Nonetheless, we shouldn't have missed a torn piece of the envelope from a balloon. Inspector Gregson can expect repercussions. Hey, cut! Like me swiping all his fishing chips, eh? Man's full of pleasure. You know, it's feeling bad for Gregson. None of this matters. That scrap of balloon envelope means... Oh, wait. The scrap of balloon envelope means nothing. Nyen. Oh, for people who may not will need a recap. The envelope means the balloon part of the balloon. You know, like his hat. You can just barely see on screen. What do I have? I have the crossbow. Can I examine this? I don't think I can. I don't think I can. He is very, very... Well, I mean, fair enough. He is a grumpy man. Lunhe's very upset because people are calling his livelihood unsafe. Okay, this is all that I have. Yeah, this is... Okay, I guess I will have to press. Let's try this. Maybe it's one of the moments where I have to press everything. You mean the color is wrong? Si, senor. I do not have any green balloons in my warehouse. And yet, a piece of green cloth was found at the scene. And it unmistakably from a balloon. Well, I do not know how that can be. For the sake of argument, let's say that a green balloon did explode above the stage. You couldn't, therefore, conclude that it happened on the day in question. Why not? have been recreational balloon flights over Hyde Park, operating from before the Great Exhibition. One could have exploded on some earlier date. Unfortunate, as I'm sure you'll agree. You believe that it may have been from some earlier balloon accident that predates the exhibition? See. Exactly. As the senor says, it is not from one of my balloons. Clearly, this little dragazeo from... Oh, he's throwing a fit again. Hello, child. What do you need to say?
Excuse me.
I love how he goes, excuse me. Oop. Is something wrong, Master Gotts? It's Master William Gotts Sigmund Ostein. It was on the tip of my tongue. He's like, I don't remember your name. I am Japanese. I don't remember even the names. Poor Ryunosuke. Ja, something is very wrong. I know what I saw. There was a green balloon there. I swear it. I swear it all over Bohemia. You can speak as much bad language as you like, but it changes nothing. He wants another balloon. You do not have evidence, Ragazzo. Then I must tell your parents to punish you, eh? Good luck. That's the king and queen of another country. I don't think you have the... I don't even think you have the ability to get an audience with them, Lune. I also get the distinct impression they may not be pleased by having some random guy say their child is misbehaving. Just a thought. Anyway. Perhaps we'll let the judge decide when it comes to punishments. Evidence? What is evidence? Give a simple example, young man. A photograph, for instance. Some tangible proof of what you claim. Well, why didn't you say so sooner? I have the photograph here. Gracious! What? I had not been up in a balloon for a little while, so I was very excited. Goodbye. I took lots and lots of photographs. Of the Crystal Tower, of the Bohemian exhibit, and of the streets of London, of the hot eel stellar, the balloon. Hot eel? Like, is that his accent acting up? And I don't know what that... Like, hot meal? Or does he actually mean eel? Like the rope fish, the nope ropes of the aquatic variety. Anyway. And the instantaneous kinesis experiment. Did you take a picture of that? Ja, one picture. Really? You did take one? But I want... but all I wanted was a ride in a balloon. I was not interested in boring experiments. Never mind that. Can you show us that photograph? Of course. And then you will see. You will see that I'm not lying. That I really did see a green balloon. Oh my gosh, what? There's an arrow. Ryunosuke's stunned. Van Ziegs has no words. Charming kiddo. Yeah, he throws tantrums, but he's been very helpful. I'm like, if this kid wasn't helping me on my side, I think I would be like, I would dislike this child greatly. I don't like brats. You're a helpful kid, though. Good child. Well, I see you are too shocked to speak. Yes, I think shocked is indeed the word, young man. Ja, perhaps you cannot see that it was a green balloon from this photograph, but that's not my fault. It's not my fault. It's the stupid person who made the camera. Oh no, he's crying. Kiddo, it's okay. His balloons are striped. And I think... Okay, now he's just crying. That is Ryanosuke! I guess that's not rude to point out, but that is kind of funny. That is one very bohemian sounding cry. And he's still crying. Poor Gots. Very well. The court will accept this photograph as evidence. Okay, we got that. I want to look at it. Deep breath, child. Poor kid. Kids. Oh yeah, you can't really see the full balloon. But there's nobody in it. It really is just one of those gas balloons. Look at all the people down there. Yeah, if that thing fell over... Oh, hey, you can see Hairbrain right there. He's right above my shoulder. And you can see Asmund, too. That's a lot of steam. And also that's totally... That big shiny thing is totally an arrow. It's about to smack the balloon. Let's see, what is it actually... What is the descriptor? Photograph of the balloon. A photograph taken by Gotts whilst he was riding it in a balloon. It shows another balloon that he claims was green and exploded moments after he took the shot. That was one... Gotts could enter this nowadays into moments before disaster. It really is moments before disaster. Well, never mind. I'm sure you have plenty of wonderful sepia memories to take home with you. In any case, when exactly did you take that photograph? Well, it was on the day of the big explosion. I messed up. You don't say. When I pressed the shutter release, there was this very loud bang. And a hot wind rushed over my face. That means... this photograph was taken a split second before the explosion occurred. I could have told you that. Well, if you ask me, this black and white photograph changes nothing. Ryanosuke's so stressed. He is. I could not give the flying fig. Lovely language you've picked up. I thought, Mr. Lune's sister... Okay. Just gonna go over this. This we've seen. Yes, we just got that, and I had to get it from the last one. Do I just present the picture here? I'm not sure what exact dialogue I need to present the photograph. Clearly I need to present the photograph somewhere, but I'm like, where? Is it the number of balloons? Okay. Oh yeah, he says 3 balloons in here. Okay, maybe this was actually where I need to put...
Objection!
Okay, the music cut out, so I'm doing the right thing. Unfortunately, the photograph Mr. Gotts took can't tell us the color of the balloon. But it can tell us something else. Something crucially important. What? It shows that the pictured balloon wasn't carrying any passengers. Ah, my goodness, you're right! But surely all balloons would have been carrying passengers. There would be no sense in it otherwise. See! They're for pleasure. For seeing the view. My balloons only fly with passengers. It tells us that the pictured balloon isn't one of them. So when the incident occurred that day, there was a 4th balloon in the skies above the experimentation stage. The mysterious green balloon. Hehe. I know nothing yet. I can only tell you one thing. If this balloon was not carrying passengers, then it was not one of mine. You're gonna see his hat. Oh, hi. Hi, Fancy. There are legal tradesmen everywhere you care to look. Or illegal. There are illegal tradesmen wherever you go. Whoops. Whoops. Let me try that again. There are illegal tradesmen everywhere you care to look. Clearly one such entrepreneur decided to capitalize on the opportunity presented by the Great Exhibition. Managed to operate balloon flights on Mr. Lunet's path without him realizing. See! The competition. The competition tried to steal my profits. Did not notice because of the experiments that went wrong on the stage. Yes, I know I'm not saying the word. I think he's saying the Italian version of the word. Or just making it feel more Italian, but I'm not pronouncing that because I don't know how. Try my best here. Its fourth balloon exploded at the very same moment Mr. Asmund was beamed from the stage below. Right. So them scraps that fell to the ground after and left them scorch marks, they didn't come from the stage at all. It was bits of the balloon that rained down. Because no one was in it, it didn't get no attention. Mysterious fourth balloon carrying no passengers, suddenly floating over the experimentation stage.
Objection!
Isaac. Dickies. We need someone to give Van Zeeks a silly nickname. We don't have people who give silly nicknames out, except for Iris. Has she given Zeeks a nickname? I don't remember if she has. The photograph shows us nothing more. A stray balloon carrying no one, and operated by some rogue traitor. Clearly has nothing to do with the case. Its relevance does elude me, I must say. The court has seen sufficient evidence and heard ample testimony already. The prosecution calls for this trial to be concluded. Are they paying attention or are they just spacing out? Really? Have we really gotten to the truth yet? Not even close. No, I can't let this opportunity slip away. The jurors' minds are made up, and it's not in our favor. What else can this photograph tell us? Is there nothing more we can learn from it? There's definitely more! There's a darn arrow no one's mentioned! Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, wait. Please don't give your decisions yet. Photographer Master Gotts may well be hidden one more vital clue. What's that? A vital clue?
Objection!
That's a face. Hi, Zeke. Are you asking me to point it out? I will point it out and shove it in your face. We're well past the point of mere possibilities. It's time for definitives now. From the court. What exactly does this alleged clue in the photograph prove? Not the owner, not the color, but the cause of the explosion, because it's a gosh dingus arrow! How do you people have eyes? Then again, you guys didn't find a crossbow. Because apparently, I took that. Anyway. Or they don't know it's a crossbow yet. I do! I took a look at it, was like, that's a crossbow! I watched too many Where have I seen crossbows? I actually don't see them very much in media, but I know what they look like. How do I know that? I have questions I myself cannot answer. Anyway. We can reasonably assume that the pictured balloon was destroyed in the searing heat of the explosion. Ja, that's right. Ja, it was not my fault. Evidently. As the bird cage from the kinesis machine materialized in the sky where I had been flying. The balloon, filled with flammable hydrogen, instantly and explosively ignited. Check. Nope.
Objection!
No, that's not what happened. What? I love it when fancies get confused by Ryunosuke going, no, that's not it. I love seeing Ryunosuke get triumphing. It's really fun. I think more than any of the other attorneys, because we have Phoenix, Apollo, and Athena. Out of all of them, I'm most happy seeing Ryunosuke succeed. I don't know what's about it, but I'm always really happy seeing Ryunosuke doing well. Like, yes! I guess he's my favorite attorney then. I also really like Apollo. That makes sense. Apollo and Ryunosuke are my two favorites. I am biased. Well, it's not even the first attorney I gave. Did I actually know? I played Dual Destinies. That has both Phoenix and Apollo, and even Athena. Like, I play the game with all three of them. I'm still biased towards Apollo. I like Apollo. Not that Phoenix is bad. It's like a really close race. Anyway, not the point. It would appear that this photograph requires closer examination. Can I please point out the arrow now? Counsel for the defense. We'll highlight the location of this alleged clue in the photograph for the court. Please let me. I've been dying to point this out. There's an arrow in there. Of course, my lord. You look closely. Plain enough to see. And what's shown is linked to another piece of evidence we have. In a way, that leads to an unbelievable conclusion. Ryunosuke has spent just about all his time in a courtroom when not sleeping. No, he had 6 months where he wasn't doing lawyer stuff. He spent his time apparently in the attic reviewing all over... What was it? I think he has a bunch of legal books he was reading. Ryunosuke actually reads. He was reading a bunch of books and stuff. So he wasn't staying idle. I think it also implied... Oh, right. The other thing he was doing is reading over Sherlock Holmes's stories. So he's essentially spent half a year brushing up on old cases and the laws and stuff so he could be better. Presumably. My first thought was, wow, Ryunosuke can actually read books. I was throwing shade at Phoenix. Phoenix is like infamously known for not reading the law books and past trial records. I'm like, Phoenix, please. He does! That's probably why I'm always happy when Ryunosuke succeeds, is because you always hear how hard Ryunosuke is working. And then it pays off and it's like, yay! Hard work! Rewarded! It's always nice to see. Anyway. Clue that heavily suggests the real reason the balloon exploded is the gosh dingus arrow right there. I don't remember if I had the same kind of thing. Okay, good, it cut out. I worry, like, am I pointing at the right pixel? One of these games was really fussy about which location you actually clicked on. Like the original version, I think. It might have been... I don't know. I think it's one of the sprite-based games, not the 3D ones. It'd be very fussy about where you clicked. It'd be like, that's where I was trying to click, but it's like, nope, you were pixel off. Anyway, not a problem in this game, thankfully. The timing of this photograph can only be described as miraculous. You can't picture him an arrow. You look. You'll notice there's a bright white line that appears to point directly at the balloon. Likely a ray of light caught incidentally on the film. That's... Even I know. That's not how old-timey cameras work, Fanzeeks. That's not how cameras work, Fanzeeks. It is not a ray of light. That's not even how a ray of light would show up on a camera. It's also not a bug. Oh gosh. There's a lot of things cameras do where it's like, that's not how it works to the human eye and all that. I'm like, yeah, because it's a camera. They work differently than people's eyes. Seriously, there's a bunch of people who come up with all kinds of crazy things. And I'm like, no, that's just a camera doing this. Please learn about cameras. Seriously. Why do people not learn about their tools of the trade work? And then get shocked when they look like idiots when they're like, no, it's totally this thing. And everyone's like, no, that's a very common X, Y, and Z thing. Seriously, look things up. We have the internet. Well, look things up how cameras work. Now go, hey, is this thing actually true? Because you'll get people saying yes, because it's also the internet. This is why people have laws about children not going on the internet. They don't know how to find truth from fact, or fiction. Truth from fiction. Anyway, I'm rambling, sorry. I'm afraid I can see nothing of the sort. The judge agrees with me, good. You look with a magnifying glass, my lord. It becomes clear what the nature of this bright line really is. Wait, can I do that? Goodness, what is that? Undeniably some flash of light, yes. Oh golly, do you think it might be lightning? That's also not how lightning is shaped, ma'am. Then again, would people even know that lightning's like, no. We've had depictions of lightning being zigzag since like ancient Greece, because that's why Zeus has a bunch of lightning bolts, zigzag things. We've had that for, yeah, no. Lightning's not straight, unless it's running through a rod or something. Even then it might spark off. How does that look actually? Does that work that way? I've seen pictures of Faraday cages, but I don't remember if any electricity sparked off of them or not. Faraday. Is it Faraday? 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 Anyway. But it couldn't have been a finer day. I believe we may be looking at fire. Bolt of fire heading straight for the balloon, like an arrow. Indeed. Even to my aging eyes, it would appear to be a flame of some sort. Poorly educated Victorian lady. Shots fired! Oh, hello! That anime dude. Hello, dude. Welcome, welcome. My word, are you suggesting this flame struck the hydrogen gas that filled the balloon?
Objection!
That was too sweet. It's absurd. The balloon would have been 60 feet above the ground at the time. The flame could have possibly reached such a height.
Objection! Actually,
It's my opinion that a particular piece of evidence found at the scene reveals how that it is exactly the. Okay, let's try again. That a particular piece of evidence found at the scene reveals how that is exactly what did happen. What evidence? If such evidence exists, Counsel, then for goodness sake, present it, man. Alrighty. I guess it'd be 9? Which evidence explains this mysterious streak of flame that appears to be headed directly for the balloon? This.
take that!
The true nature of the curious slim streak of light is revealed by this. Oh wait, I might have to examine it again. Yeah. Curious answer with some chance of being correct one, I feel. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look at it again. Yeah. Dang it! No. Let me look at this. Is it here? Yeah, here we go. Oh, I need to move. Sorry, okay. Ah, there's some sort of lever here. It's a crossbow! Bang, bang. What's this? Crossbow. Looks like a cross between a bow and a gun. Crossbow. I think it's probably used for the same thing, too. Crossbow! See what I was saying? Okay, now it's updated. Now I can actually get this correct. I presented that and then I'm like, oh shoot, I should have looked at that first. I haven't looked at it again to say it's a crossbow. It wouldn't let me. Yeah, okay. Yep, I'm just gonna skip through this. Let me try it again. Yeah. I did, but I didn't know what it was.
Take that!
Okay, let's try this correctly. This was found hidden at the foot of a small ornate... Wait. Ornamental. Oops. Ornamental. This was found hidden at the foot of a small ornamental tree near the scene. Good lord! Is that a crossbow? Yes. Yes, it is. An arrow dipped in oil and set alight could have been shot from this weapon, sending the flaming arrow straight into the hydrogen-filled balloon. You suggest that crossbow was used deliberately? Blimey, you're right! The streak of light in the photo looks just like an arrow, doesn't it? Then the explosion of the balloon. It was... very likely the result of a flaming arrow from this crossbow igniting the hydrogen gas inside it. That kid and where it counted. Order, order, council! This is an extraordinary okay, tripping up my words. Supposition. There we go, I can say it. The aim was to cause the balloon to explode. The shooter could have used a gun, of course. However, there's an obvious reason why that would have been out of the question. The noise of the discharge, of course. Oh yeah, they were still using black powder back. Like, this was... yeah. I'm honestly surprised they would even have rifling back in this. Yeah. Guns were noisy. That's right. By using a crossbow, projectile could be fired at the balloon silently. Well, yeah, if someone had shot a gun off in the exhibition grounds, it would have caused a real panic. But with the explosion, there was a very big panic anyway, no? No, so that... Oop. I don't like this. I should be pleased to have found a plausible new explanation for all this. But something feels wrong.
Objection!
You understand the implications of what you're saying, my Nipponese friend. The flaming arrow did indeed hit the balloon. Then obviously it would have exploded. And if the birdcage appeared from the cloud of smoke that ensued... What? Wait a minute! What are you really saying here? I don't get it. Was the birdcage beamed up into the sky after all, or what? My goodness me! No, it was not beamed up. I mean, even nowadays, teleportation is impossible, let alone in, like, the turn of the century from the 1800s to the 1900s. Ah, now I understand. That's what this sinking feeling is about. I think there's a good chance that the birdcage was actually concealed inside the balloon all along. What? Did I just hear that correctly, Council? There's no going back now. The horse has bolted. Let's assume, as I said, that the birdcage was hidden inside the green balloon from the start. On stage, when the experiment was started, the birdcage in the instantaneous kinesis machine disappeared in a cloud of smoke. At that moment, a flaming arrow was fired from the ground, causing the green balloon to explode and drawing the attention of the spectators to the sky above their heads. From amid the smoke, the hidden birdcage then appeared, to fall down and crash into the crystal tower. I think you all agree it's entirely plausible that what I've just described is the real truth behind the miraculous experiments carried out that day. Good grief! Why is this more surprising
Objection.
than teleportation not being real? This is ludicrous. What you've described is no science experiment. It's child's play. A contemptible display of stage magic. Mm-hmm. Mr. Shloms and Iris said that the experiment was a scientific impossibility. In which case, this is the only way to explain what happened that day. In any case, the victim's body was found inside the birdcage in the Crystal Tower. If instantaneous kinesis didn't take place, how do you explain that? Body double. Rianovsky, it's not hard. If I may put in a word, as a man of magic myself, such apparent discrepancies can easily be explained by some simple deception. Doing number 3? Yay, we have a magician in our midst. Even if he's another vampire. Along with Van Zeeks. So Van Zeeks has his cape off, so he doesn't look very vampiric. He just looks like a snooty snooty nobleman. I almost said vampire man. I was just saying he didn't look vampiric as much as vampiric. I mean, he still kind of does, like, constantly, but I think he's supposed to look more reapery. Even though he doesn't look very much like that either, but noble reaper man. Yeah. I'm rambling too much this stream. All that would need... Immediate mess up. All that would be needed is a doppelganger. Someone who looked very similar to the victim, Mr. Asman. And having this other man appear on stage to the front of the show as a body double. Nice addition of the pigeons. Yes, of course. So in fact... creepy looking guy. Yeah, the magician does kind of look... Ooh, does he... Oh! I wonder if he's using a camera obscura or a magic lantern. If you don't know what those are, look them up, please. That's a thing better shown than just told. Mr. Asman must have been inside the birdcage that was concealed inside the balloon right from the start.
Objection!
The balloon would have been filled with hydrogen. Nothing hidden inside it would have been scattered to the four winds when it exploded. No one would have ever embarked on such a risky venture. Unnecessarily. The explosive force of the balloon gas would very much depend upon the mixture of a ratio. Do number 4? Flying balloons are rarely filled with pure hydrogen, but a mixture of other gases such as helium as well. Helium is also lighter. Helium on its own doesn't explode, but by controlling the gas mixture ratio, the explosive force can be altered. A mixture ratio? Obviously, the victim's body would have suffered some burns. That would be unavoidable. Does he have burns? We have an autopsy report. I think that might have been... No, we just have the stab wound and the broken bones. Okay, that... Obviously, the victim's body... Oh yeah, but suffers some burns. But not to such an extent as to render this whole obscene charade impossible. Van Zeeks has the jurors against him, along with Rianovsky. So everything that happened can be explained, logically and scientifically. The explosion that engulfed the stage at the start of the experiment was no accident. It was all part of an elaborate deception to make it appear that the instantaneous kinesis had occurred. Well, goodness me. And if we accept that this is what happened, it means that the victim, Mr. Asman, was never present on the public experimentation stage to begin with. Van Zeeks has nothing to say to that. I'm having too much fun sticking it to Van Zeeks. In short, he couldn't have been the killer. Okay. He couldn't have been killed by the defendant, who was on stage in full view the entire time. This would be very hard for the prosecution to counter. Lord Van Zieks can't credibly maintain that Professor Hairbrain is the suspect now. Who's saying hold it? Hi, Hairbrain. Mr. Naruhodo, I appreciate your efforts. Thank you. Professor? You can stop now. Just keep your mouth shut, please. Sorry. What's all this about, Mr. Hairbrain? What are you gonna do? I'm gonna want to smack you, aren't I? I, Albert Hairbrain, hereby confess that it was me who stabbed Mr. Odie Asman. Yes, it was me, with my faithful friend and partner, Andrew the Screwdriver. What? What are you doing? Being an idiot. What else? Order, order, order! Defendant, explain the sudden confession. He doesn't. Randall's like, I interrupt the judge because no. I'm sorry, I might be more amused by this than anything because I have played this before. Even though I'm playing Tom. But I want to smack this Hairbrain fool. I think Ryunosuke does too. Professor Hairbrain, what are you talking about? It's what I've said all along. I must protect my hypothesis and my precious machine. You stand there and claim it was a trick, all an elaborate prank. He never said prank. That feels too small of a word to use in this situation where a man was murdered, Hairbrain. Anyway, well, where's your proof? No, you'd have to examine the machine if you wanted to prove it, but then it would all be over. My beautiful hypothesis would be laid bare. I mean, the indignity of it. It's clear that you drew the plans for the experiment, but you didn't actually build it. It's quite conceivable that you were duped, Professor. If you would just let me, I can prove... Barack! Yes? I'll cooperate. I'll do whatever you say, I swear it. So please, ensure the Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act is adhered to and protect my creation. Ryunosuke's taken aback. I can see him over there. So, what are you doing, Van Zieks? I forgive the discourtesy of filling my hollow chalice at this critical juncture. Do you need to have a glass in hand to think about it? What are you gonna do? Here's to my learned Nibbanese friend. What? His upcoming attempt to clarify the defense's position in light of the accused's confession. Do you intend to formally assert that the experiment was nothing more than a conjuring trick? Because the moment you do, the Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act will be referred... I'm loving. Let's try again. Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act that protects the professor's invention will cease to apply. Prosecution will then demand a rigorous examination of the machinery involved in order to establish the truth. Well, it's Ryunosuke. He goes for the truth. And that's what I go for too. However, we acknowledge that the machine is genuine and instrumental in the victim's murder. Any chance of investigation will be crushed, and the confidentiality of the professor's hypothesis preserved. You? Well, Consul, what is the defense's official position on this matter? Truth. I don't care what the professor says. He may have asked to keep that safe, but my butt's only on the line for making sure he doesn't go to jail for murder. That's all I care about. But Professor Hairbrain, my client, actually asked of me was to prove that the explosion on stage was an accident and protect the secrecy of his hypothesis. There's no way to do that without implying the professor's guilt. Do I protect my client's life by asserting his innocence? Or do I uphold my client's request but see him condemned? Either way, I can't avoid betraying his trust. I'm on the side of truth. You've been silent long enough. Isn't talking your trade, my learned friend. Or has all knowledge of English escaped your confused Nipponese mind? Hey, he was an English major before he became a law major. I almost said lawyer major. That's not right. Come on, Ryunosuke. Mr. Naruhodo! There's no escape here. I have to make a choice. It's an impossible one. I have to give up on something, but what? The defense asserts that the defense instantaneous kinesis machine was in fact conjuring trick. I don't think anyone else is gonna say it though. I've decided he is not. Ugh. We haven't seen that wild look in his eyes in a bit. No, I can't say it. My client places faith in me. I can't just let him down. Lies don't help people. What must I give up on? It's not the question you have to ask yourself here. It's, what can I protect? Hello again, Mr. Naruhodo. It's been far too long. Susato! Sorry. Not really. Susato! It's our girl! She's back! I fruck out my cat. I fruck out my cat! Kitty! Kitty, it's okay. Hi, Kitty. Okay, she's fine now. She just plopped down and started to scratch her ear. She's like, I'm okay now. I didn't think my screeching would spook my kitty. Oops. Susato-san! But what are you— Yeah! The brain cells are back. Not really. I mean, Ryunosuke's smart on his own, but still, I had to make a joke. Yeah, poor kitty. She's fine now. I think she ran down the hall, realized nothing else was going on. It was just like, oh, my human's just being weird. Sorry, kitty. Arg! The first Susato takedown in 6 months. It'll be time to talk later, Mr. Naruhodo. For now, we must concentrate on the task at hand. Susato! Woo! It is working out not what I have to give up on, but what I can protect. He's up. Professor Hairbrain. Ah! Yes? Yesterday you told me, science is the pursuit of truth. Well, my job is to pursue the truth too. Yes, of course. And personally, I believe that you didn't stab Mr. Asman. I think you've come to realize something yourself too, haven't you? That your experiments and the machine you built with the victim are questionable. The truth behind that is what we both must pursue now. Ah! Goodbye, butthole. Are you throwing a tantrum? You're as bad as the child, Vansy. So, you finally open your eyes. What? And as for you, Albert, you can't ignore this any longer. Ah! Having heard my learned friend's assertion, you have something to say. But, Barack? Lord Van Zeeks? Gosh, I've never heard him speak that way before. Nicely? I wouldn't think so. He's usually got a bug up his butt. In truth, there is one thing. Something I've remembered that's of relevance. What? On the day it happened, just before I began the experiment, I saw a man near the stage. A man holding that crossbow. I beg your pardon? Professor, does the man have any distinguishing features? What did he look like? Taller than me, and thinner than me, with straight hair, straighter and wider than mine. Let's see. One less I sound like a sim now. Let me see. One less lens than me, too. A monocle. A rather stylish black monocle. But one thing in particular will help to positively identify the man, you see. Oh, identify the man. You see? I know him very well. After all, he's the engineer who built my invention. What? He built the machine? That's right. Mr. Asman introduced him to me a year ago. He's a man by the name of Enoch Debeur. Enoch Debeur? Does this name mean something? Members of the jury seem flustered. The name any scientist wishes to hear. That man's an abomination. Not a name any conjurer wishes to hear either. Who on earth is he? I'm afraid that isn't the first tale of this nature that I have heard in scientific circles in connection with that name. There's talk of other flamboyant experiments that turned out to be nothing but stage trickery in the end. Obviously, the radical is after the government's research grant money. When magicians are in need of money, I have heard of them resorting to these underhand tactics. Some acquaintance of mine with experience of such things have mentioned Enoch Debeur's name before. Man is both an engineer and a magician. Yes, we're dealing with an unparalleled confidence trickster here. That's Enoch Debeur for you. Dun dun da! Hi, Hairbrain. How bad is your day going? I'm so nonchalant about this. I'm not that attached to Hairbrain here. To be honest. Hi! Hello, Dandelion Head. So it's true then. My invention. My great machine. It was just a grand illusion? Unfortunately so. Considering what we've just heard about Mr. Debeur's character, I'm sorry to say that sounds increasingly likely. Even though no one else believed it, I wanted to. I wanted to believe that machines would function I wanted to believe that machine would function exactly as my hypothesis predicted. Which is why you were so opposed to it being investigated, I presume. I knew that if the machine was examined in detail, its construction would give away my hypothesis. Obviously, I didn't want that to happen, but at the same time, I knew that if it was found to be nothing more than a trick, than a work of deception, then everything I'd worked towards, all my research, all my dreams, my whole life would be over. I was terrified at the prospect. So you really had no idea then, did you? About the true nature of the machine that was built, and the true nature of Mr. Deber. I never questioned anything. I didn't want to question it. That's not a very good attitude to have as a scientist. You want to question, like, everything. Hello, Fuzz Bucket. Kitty distraction. Nya. It's entirely possible that Mr. Asman and Mr. Deber were working together to use you as a means of fraudulently acquiring the research grant money. You were going to be their scapegoat. I'd a guess. At least that's what Mr. Asman thought of. I think Mr. Deber is having different ideas. Cause... yeah. Anyway. Wait. Okay, yeah, that's Hairbrain. When I announced my invention to the crowds that day, it was the finest moment of my career. Yeah, he was really excited. I pulled all the levers and turned all the dials in exactly the way Deber had described. When the smoke suddenly started billowing out, I panicked. I didn't know what was happening. You should know how your machine works. But I really don't know how the whole illusion was made to work. I don't know anything anymore. You do know one thing, you were tricked. You're a schmuck. Sorry. Let me confirm one final point with you, Professor. Do you now consent to the prosecution submitting the necessary paperwork to release your invention from the protection afforded by the Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act? Yes, please go ahead. I'm very sorry. Poor man. Life is a lie. It would appear that we shall have to suspend proceedings for the remainder of the day now. Lord Van Zieks. My lord. The court has newly been made aware of another party whose involvement in this matter is critical. Yes, Sir Deber. Gather information about the man if possible. I should like him served with a subpoena. With pleasure, my lord. I like Van Zieks' little bow animation. Why do the men have fun bows? Van Zieks in Sherlock Sholmes. I want Sholmes. Gosh. Ah! Anyway. I like Sholmes' bow too. He does that little twirly hand motion. It's cute. Sherlock is a fun character. I like him. We have a distinct lack of Sherlock lately. I hope we get to see him this stream. I think we have a chance to. Moving on though. We won't have any chance if I sit here blabbering the whole time. Now, counsel for the defense. Yes, my lord? When we reconvene, I shall be looking for one thing and one thing alone from you. Evidence. That the defendant is innocent of the crime for which he presently stands accused. Oh, right, because they don't have evidence for that yet. It's a theory with some circumstantial evidence. Yes. I understand. Good. In that case, this court is adjourned until tomorrow morning. Yay! We got to the second investigation day. Let's see how far we can get into this. Depending on how much we get into this, is going to depend on if we can get done with this Monday. It might take us also Friday. We actually might get near finish. And then have to, on Monday, then have to finish Friday. But we are, hiccup. We're getting close. We're already getting close to my favorite part of this game. I'm excited. But we got to my second favorite part, which is Susato shows up! We have Susato again! Yay! Are you feeling good? Hi. Hello. Mr. Naruhodo. Yes. I'm so sorry. I was wrong. You were right. I tricked you. You trusted me. I dragged you into my mess. You're turning into Soseki. Oh, how did it ever come to this? I'm so sorry. I heard you the first time. I think Ryunosuke did too. Did you really have no idea, Professor? But what Mr. Deber was really up to, I mean. About what he was really constructing. Naturally. That machine was the embodiment of my hypothesis. Of all my hopes and dreams. I had complete faith in it. Alright, in that case, I won't say any more. Now sadly, the murder accusation against you still stands. So we must do as much investigation as we can before the trial resumes tomorrow. Well, thank you for doing so much for me. You're welcome, Mr. Dandelion Head. Susato! I'm so sorry for arriving late this morning, Mr. Naruhodo. Arriving late? Didn't you receive my postcard? I wanted to let you know when I'd arrive. Postcard? What postcard? I hid it from you, Bruno, so it'd be a surprise. Iris! Your hairstyle on this guy. Yeah. Hair braid? I mean, it's probably like he's got a lot of hair on his noggin. Hair brain. Haha. Hair brain schemes. Haha. Punny. But I'm like, dandelion. He's a yellow dandelion. I'm like, dandelion head. That's all that's coming to my mind. I guess cotton head works too. Cotton balls are kind of shaped like that. Anyway. Iris, no. Well, did it work? I was surprised, all right. Especially when she threw me to the ground. Oh dear, I'm so sorry. I was just so happy to see you again that it sort of slipped out. Susato! Why is throwing people a greeting for you, Susato? It should be a hug, I would think. Note to self. If you haven't seen Susato in a while, give her a wide berth. She might throw you. I miss Susato. Maybe we could skip to more traditional displays of emotion in the future. Susie's train was late into London Victoria this morning, you see. But we made the coachman really whip the horses hard so she didn't miss the whole trial. Poor horsies. I hope that's more metaphorical than literal. I was watching from the galley. Yeah, I was watching from the gallery for a while. But in the end, I'm afraid I couldn't contain myself. Good thing you did. Ryunosuke was having a hard time then. Well, I'm glad you didn't. Oh! Having you at my side in court gives me the strength I need to win. So, I'm, delighted to see you. Back in London. Oh, you're too kind, Mr. Naruhodo. I'm delighted to be here. Ah, sappy. I hope I can continue to be of service to you. Of course. So, what's brought you back? The Professor Mikotoba, not protest. Let's save all that conversation for when we're back at home, shall we? You know, I've made one of my most special blends ever for this special occasion. Oh, Iris, how wonderful. I can't wait. Woo! Tea time! Uncle-san was back in London. It's hard to describe how happy that made me feel at the time. Despite my elation, our tale was about to take yet another extraordinary turn. I bet. We're at a lot of twists and turns part of this game. Do not do to be continued me game. We are continuing anon. I'm sorry, I'm laughing at my own stupid jokes. Okay, now we're properly on investigation 2. Oh, it's a mop. Hello, mop. Is it just me or is it full of more stuff now? They're in the attic again. Oh, it's her happy face. Oh, this room. It's been too long. It hasn't changed in the slightest, though. And it's been some 6 months, hasn't it? It's a long time for things to stay so familiar. I didn't know when you might return, and I wanted everything to be as you'd left it. But it has been some 6 months, it's true. So, is your father alright, Susie? What happened? My father? Yes, Professor Mikotoba. I mean, it was half a year ago. But that's why you went back to Japan. Because of the telegram you received saying he'd fallen ill with a very high fever for some unknown reason. That's right. So I was surprised to learn you'd be coming back so soon. Surprised, but happy. He lied! We found that out in episode 6? Yeah. I think I wrote about it in my letter to you. That was all a trick. My father is in fine health, and I'm obviously very relieved about that. Well, we're all delighted to have you back. It was quite by accident that I've been able to return to Europe, actually. It's because of a very grand conference called the International Forensic Science Symposium. The International Forensic is the same symposium Lord Strongheart mentioned. Anyway, I've arrived safe and sound, and that's all that matters. And all that matters is that I'm here now. After all, I haven't yet fulfilled my promise to you, Iris. Oh! You must tell us everything that happened while you were back in Japan. Of course. I shall. I missed a word. And there's one other thing. Something you wrote in your letter that particularly grabbed my attention. About you-know-who. About Kazuma. I know. I'll tell you all that I can. Whoops. I was on Converse. Whoops. Okay, back in Britain. When I first arrived back in Japan, I really thought I'd never be allowed to return to Britain. But curiously, after that awful trial at the Supreme Court, Father's mood changed entirely. The awful trial? Oh yes, for the murder of Giselle Brett. Oh, you dressed as a man then, didn't you, Susie? Oh, well, yes. Since women are forbidden in the courtroom, I had no choice. Wow, amazing! I wish I'd seen it. Don't you, Bruno? Yes, I suppose so. I want to play at being a lawyer now. I could wear a mustache, maybe. I don't think any mustache could hide the fact that you're just 10 years old, Iris. There's something else I've been wanting to ask you, Miss Susato. It's about the real reason why Professor Mikotoba summoned you back to Japan. You said in your letter it was something to do with that convict's loot we found in Mr. Natsume's lodgings. That's right. The very large dog collar we found with the bee emblem on it. It seems Mr. Natsume included a drawing of the collar in the report he submitted about his time in Britain. Didn't we just have... Iris had to hit her manuscript called The Hound of the Baskervilles. It had Baskervilles in it. I've read that one. It's the only Shlom story I read, and there was a giant dog in it, and it killed people. I wonder if that's going to become relevant. Moving on. I'm having too much fun. I understand that when Father saw the report, he turned as white as a sheet. What would that be then? Murder dog! Father came to Britain himself, of course, to study. It was some time ago now, but he stayed for 6 years. I can only imagine that something must have happened during that time. But if he refuses to tell me what it was, then I intend to find the answers for myself. And I've decided that I, for one, won't keep any more secrets. Oh, Susie! A very meaningful look Susato-san's giving Iris there. Forensic Science Symposium. But Stronghearts mentioned something about that symposium too. I think he said that investigative authorities from 40 different countries would attend. Yes, and from Japan, my father and Judge Jigoku have been invited. It's something of an honor, I believe. Well, Professor Mikotoba is the leading expert in forensic science, medicine, and art country, after all. But who's the other person you mentioned? A judge, did you say? Yes, His Excellency, Judge Seshiro Jigoku. You've met him, Mr. Naruhodo. Last year, in the Supreme Court. You can't possibly have forgotten. He didn't know his name. That terrible trial of yours, when you were accused of murder. Ah, yes. I try not to think of that as a positive turning... Wait. No, I flipped that. Ah, yes. I try to think of that as a positive turning point in my life these days. Well, it was Judge Jigoku. Jigoku. Not Joku. Ah, why does my mouth keep flubbing? Well, it was Judge Jigoku who presided over that trial. If I'm perfectly honest, I'd be happy never to see that man's face again in my life. Oh, well anyway, as father was invited to the symposium, he agreed to me returning to Britain too. He won't actually arrive until next month, but, well, I couldn't wait. So I pleaded with him, and in the end he agreed to me going on ahead. Yes, about the symposium. It seems as though Lord Strongheart has put in an awful lot of work to make it happen. It's obviously very important. I believe it is, yes. And as I understand it, Lord Strongheart organized the entire event himself. I think he's hoping by achieving exceptional results, he'll get the job of Attorney General. The most senior position in the most senior position in the British justice system. He's hoping to use his power to create the world's finest policing institution. That's what Father said anyway. Apparently, it's Lord Strongheart's lifelong ambition. Does Professor Mikotoba know Lord Strongheart personally then, I wonder? Actually, Lord Strongheart gave me a long speech all about this very subject only yesterday. And you fell asleep too. You went nappy naps. I sort of lost the will to live early on and didn't really listen to much of it. You know, okay. Isn't there a lighter way of putting that? How trying for you. Okay, Giselle Brett. Giselle Brett. The woman whose unforgivable actions ended in me being wrongly accused of a crime I didn't commit. The murder of Dr. John H. Wilson. Yes, Giselle Brett. It's a name I won't forget for as long as I live. The extraordinary thing is, though, it seems it's a name we should all forget. Sorry. Since the incident, our government's intelligence services have been investigating Miss Brett. But it turns out that an Englishwoman by the name of Giselle Brett didn't actually exist. Oh, I forgot about this part. Ooh, spill the beans. It didn't exist, but how can that be? It was a pseudonym. Her real name was Shin, and she wasn't a visiting student either. That was a front. Oop. Puppy. She's not barking anymore. A front? Who on earth was she then? Miss A. Shin. Her name is literally all our intelligence services have been able to ascertain about her. A. Shin. A. Shin. A. Shin. Ashin? Nobody knows why or even how she came to be in Japan. It's a complete mystery. But that makes no sense. It's no easy task to be accepted as a foreign student anywhere. What could the woman have been up to? I'm afraid I really don't know. The only thing we can be sure of is that she had some business in our country that we don't yet understand. Didn't we see the name Asian before? It's like on the list. We got a list from the music boxes. Wasn't Asian one of the names? I think Kei Asogi was another one on the list. Which was Kazuma? The plot thickens. Okay. And now she's been killed. While all the questions surrounding her existence remain unanswered. I'm afraid so. A. Shin. Who on earth was she? And why do I feel as though I've heard that name before somewhere? I remember! I don't know how. Usually my memory is more like a goldfish, but this time I'm like, wait a second. That was one of the names. I can remember video game stuff. I can't remember anything all that useful otherwise. Oh, jeez. It's about Kazuma. After my friend Ray's trial, the reporter who actually killed Miss Brett said something very strange. Which was? I don't quite remember. I know the truth. I know you had a hand in what went on. In that visiting student's fate. Nobody here in Japan knows anything about it. They don't know that the guy never made it to England. That he died on that steamship. And that he'll never... Obviously, I couldn't ask him to elaborate at the time. But later, I visited the man in his prison cell and asked him what he was going to say about Kazuma-sama. And what did you learn? Quiet. After he died on the voyage to Great Britain, his body should have been unlaid at the port of Hong Kong and passed into the care of the consul staff there. Consulate? No, consulate. In the care of the consulate staff there. Could have been? Well, it turns out that his body never arrived. It just disappeared. What? Kazuma's body vanished? Our government tried to cover the fact up, it seems. They erected a grave on the cliffs by our hometown. Erected a grave on the cliffs by our hometown. Except, Kazuma-sama isn't there. Did Professor Mikotoba know about this? Yes, it would seem that he did. But he didn't tell me. They're still investigating what happened to Kazuma-sama's body as we speak. Sorry, I'm also like, Shlomes was on that ship. There is no way Shlomes, the man who has to stick his nose into everything, doesn't know stuff. I want to talk to Shlomes. I just don't believe it. And what is this acute feeling of apprehension I have all of a sudden? Oh, you better have that feeling. We're near the end of the game. Stuff is happening. The Kazuma mystery. Thinking back now, some of the things that happened on the Astos Buria were definitely strange. You don't say. Asogi. I mean, after he died, we never saw his body again, did we? Quiet. Would it be? Would it be that he's actually still alive? Stop it, Mr. Naruhodo. It's too much to bear. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. Just thinking about the possibility pains me so very much. Cast your mind back for a moment, Mr. Naruhodo. When Kazuma-sama was discovered, Mr. Schlums was there, wasn't he? We can't trust Mr. Schlums on crazy shite like this! We need to go back and carefully see everything that Schlums says in the first... No, that's the second episode. In the second episode. Because you gotta watch that man's wording carefully. I was watching, I do remember it. I was like, oh. Because I know things. Schlums knows more than he's letting on. Like I was saying. But what is he not letting on? There's some sketchy stuff. What sketchy stuff is happening? And he definitely examined the body. I remember it clearly. Ah, you're right. So if Kazuma hadn't actually been dead at all, it would mean that Mr. Schlums had lied to us. To get the distinct feeling, it would have been that hard. Wouldn't that be that hard to do, given that he just met you? There's no reason why he would possibly have done such a thing. I don't buy it. I don't buy it. I suppose that's true, yes? This man hides so many things from people. You think it too, right? No, she's just sad. Okay. The idea that he might still be alive somewhere. It wants to fill me with hope, but I can't let it. Because if it turns out not to be true, it'd be like losing him all over again. Then I'd be back at the bottom of that awful pit of despair again. Yep. Nope. Fair. Oh! I'm terrified of what that might do to me. Oh, Miss Susato. I know she's given the idea the thought it deserves. It's Susato-san we're talking about after all. So I probably shouldn't push it now. Aww. Okay, we have talked to everything? Do we need to show her something? Oop. Are we just good here? Usually it has a little dialogue thing, though. Do we just go? Or do we need to look at stuff? Wait, how do I move it? That button. Iris! Okay, that's why it's not having some end conversation. We can talk to Iris. It must be about a year ago now. I wrote a really long story based on some of my father's old notes. It's about one of Hurley's greatest exploits. I called it The Hound of the Baskervilles. See? Yeah, I brought it up. And Mr. Schlums forbade you from publishing it. And put the manuscript somewhere nobody could get their hands on it. Where is it now, come to think of it? But nobody knows anything about it, apart from Hurley and I. But for some reason, you knew the title of it, didn't you, Susie? Oh yeah, she never got to explain that. Why do you know that? Oh, it sounds so exciting. The Hound of the Baskervilles. I should love to read it. And you wouldn't tell me how you'd come to know it. Yes, but I made you a promise that I would explain one day, didn't I? I think it's time. Oh! I'm only sorry I've had to keep it from you for so long, Iris. Yeah, she had to go back to Japan. Hound of the Baskervilles. Baskervilles. That just makes me think of Pandora Hearts. Baskervilles. Anyway. It was completely by accident that I came to know the title of your manuscript, Iris. It was a short while before we left Japan. I was cleaning Father's study, and I saw something on his writing desk. A large box of papers. There was a label affixed to the box that was written in English. It read, The Hound of the Baskervilles. What? My Baskerville story? Of course, I had no idea what it was at the time. My father came in, and... Susato! What are you doing? Oh! Father! Did you look at those papers? No, I simply read the label, that's all. Well, put it out of your mind. Sorry. Forget that you ever saw it, and certainly, don't tell anybody else about this. Do you understand? Why is everybody hiding things now? I say that as if that hasn't been the case for a few episodes at this point. But what was Iris's manuscript doing in Japan? I have no idea. But when I heard Iris mention the word Baskerville that day, the title just slipped out. I would never have guessed that it was an unpublished account of one of Mr. Shlom's exploits. Which one? When I returned to Japan, I asked Father to explain, but he refused to answer any of my questions. And there was no sign of the big box in his office. Iris is sitting there stuck. That's really all I know about it. I have no doubt that Father has a very good reason for being so secretive about it. But still, I made up my mind to explain myself to both of you. Okay, Iris is no longer shocked. Well, thank you for being so honest, Susie. At least someone has to be. Shloms is hiding stuff. I just know it. He's not lying per se, but he's omitting what he knows. Which I feel is different. People have different opinions on that, but I'm going to consider it different. Moving on. Nope. Are we good here? Yes, we're good here. So, Mr. Naruhodo, I'm ready to start investigating if you are. I've committed every detail about the case to memory. And Iris has told me about the disturbing happenings at the Waxwork Museum as well. So, you're fully abreast of the situation already, Miss Susato. I expected nothing less, to be honest. I would think our first port of call should be to investigate this Mr. Deber, the engineer responsible for building the elaborate machine that was used to effect this extraordinary trick. Yes, a conjurer of sorts, by the sound of it. Well known in the field of science and magic. Then, we need to go and arrest him. Well, yes. You must know the truth behind this case, so I agree we really do need to find the man. It sounds like a case of tracking someone down. Which is a job for the police. Or a great detective. Are we supposed to guess who she might be thinking of? We don't have much time, so we need to get started straight away, I think. Good idea. Well, best of luck then. Oh, you're not coming today. I'm going to Brixton Road shortly for the herb market. Let me know later how you got on, won't you? Yep. Are we just gonna leave the stove on? That was a little abrupt. The pull of the herb market must be strong. Go! Oh, what do you mean new location? What new location? Oh, we can't go to the prosecutor's office. It's grayed out. What is the new location? Is it just here? What do you mean new location? I'm confused. Okay. Let's go to do spells, because I think we want to talk to Shloms. And I think he might be over here still. Okay, they're at least updating on the location thing, so we're in the right spot. Or at least a right spot. Oh my, no wonder it's called the House of Horrors. Oh, she's crying! I like to turn on my heels and go straight home. Via the confectionery. She's so... Being scared makes you crave sweets? I can understand that. Can you? Is there a correlation? I was looking forward to a reunion after 6 months away, but... There's no sign of Mr. Shlums anywhere. That's strange. Should be here investigating the abduction of the waxwork. Oh well. I suppose we'll just have to come back again later. Darn. Okay, where else can we go? We can go over here still. Is Strongheart in? Oh. Okay, something is happening here. British Supreme Court Lord Justice Office. Who's that? Person in a lab coat? Oh. Who's that standing beside the Lord Strongheart? I wonder. I've never seen her before. The lady. Hello! Hi, Strongheart. Ah, the young champion of the court. You had some success this morning, I understand. And you've thrown the entire government into disarray as a result. Oh! You mean because of Professor Harebrain's experiment? Sham science being demonstrated at London's Great Exhibition. The country's been made to look foolish. And now politicians are scrambling to respond. Do they really have to scramble? This isn't the time of the internet. I guess your version of scrambling is probably not my version of scrambling. Anyway. Lord Van Zeeks is in Whitehall as we speak, giving an emergency briefing. Oh, you know, I should probably go back to the crime scene. Why didn't I think of that sooner? I was like, I have no idea where to go. Let's go talk to Shlomo. And now I'm like, why is Lord Strongheart's thing still here? I should have gone to the... Oh well. Moving on. Oh dear. I didn't mean to cause any trouble. None of this is your responsibility. The government is entirely to blame for having been taken in. The special dispensation that prevents the investigation at the scene will be annulled later today. Once that happens, my forensic investigation team will move in and deal with that scrap metal in no time. It's scrap metal now, is it? Well, it's a sham, so yeah. Hi. You are as white as a ghost. Until later, that Lord Strongheart. Yes, thank you. You have cool hair bubbles. Goodbye. I guess we'll be seeing them later. Who was that? That was Dr. Courtney Sith, Scotland Yard's esteemed chief coroner. She's leading the forensic investigation team's handling of this case. She was just delivering her report about the victim, in fact. Oh, I see. About Mr. Asman. Following the outcome of the trial earlier, asked the coroner's office to reevaluate its findings. I don't have time to tell you what she concluded. If you want to know, you'll have to ask her directly. You can find her at the forensics laboratory. Ah, right. We need to see if the body has burns on it, I guess? Now, what were you here to see me about? I can give you 7 minutes and 39 seconds of my time. So he's not running quite so spectacularly late then anymore. Okay, what do we have to ask? Wait, numbers. Forensic investigation team. What exactly is the forensic investigation team that you mentioned before? The British Empire's police force must become the most exemplary in the world. For that to happen, it is imperative that we embrace forensic science and everything it has to offer. I first created the forensic investigation team a year ago now. And officially, of course, to pave the way. Goodness, a year ago. At next month's symposium, I intend to present the results of the work to the world. Once I do that, the House of Lords will be powerless to oppose the creation of a full-scale forensics division. And once that happens, the position of Attorney General will be mine, and criminals will suffer dearly. What do you mean? For far too long, these scoundrels have made a mockery of our legal system with false evidence and bribes. The London scum is about to be rounded up and burnt in the fires of hell. That's quite harsh. I intend to see to it personally. By creating the finest police force the world has ever known. To protect our honor and our future. Look at those eyes. He means every word. Dr. Sith is an exemplar... Wait. Dr. Sith is an extremely reliable coroner. When I officially established the forensic division at Scotland Yard. Oh, when I officially established. She will run it as my right-hand woman. Now then, speaking of the symposium, Miss Mikotaba. Oh, yes, my lord. Your father should be on the high seas as we speak, making his way here to represent the Empire of Japan. Yes, that's right. I understand you'll arrive at the beginning of next month. Are you acquainted, Lord Strongheart? With Professor Mikotaba, I mean. Did you meet him when he was studying here those 6 years? It was many years ago now, but yes. I remember Dr. Mikotaba very well. So you do know him. Dr. Mikotaba. If my memory serves, it was some 15 years ago now that your father came to Britain as a visiting student. And he was there for 6? Oh! Hey! Timeline-wise, because it's probably gonna be relevant, 10 years ago was when that incident took place, where Clint Van Zieks, Barack Van Zieks' older brother, died, I think. They said that right. Again, I've played this before, so I'm trying really hard not to spoil anything, but I'm pretty sure they've already... I know they've mentioned he is older brother, but I think they mentioned he died? I know they've mentioned... Yeah. Yes, they did, because they mentioned the serial killer, the professor, and Clint Van Zieks was the last one to die by the professor's hand. I think that was it. I think they've only disclosed that much. We don't know anymore at this point. Well, I do, again, but I'm playing dumb for your guys' sake. Anyone new? I guess that might just be kind of frustrating for anyone who's watched this before. Or knows of it, you know? Anyway. It was the year I was born. So yes, 16 years ago, in fact. Mikotaba was a young practitioner of forensic science, and Jigoku accompanied him as a young, promising judge. He certainly moved up in the ranks. Wait, hold on. Punctilineous? I think it's synonymous with punctual, so I'm just gonna go with that word, because I can say that. The punctual and politeness of the Japanese at the time impressed us greatly. Why are you quiet? Not that I wish to imply impoliteness or carelessness on your part in any way. I didn't think that you were. Dr. Mikotaba studied forensics at one of London's large hospitals. St. Sinner's, if I'm not mistaken. Dr. Synth was also there, as it happens, so they could also possibly know each other, at least in passing. Then, Dr. Sith knows my father, does she? She was a young medical assistant at the time, so I doubt their paths crossed regularly. But I have no doubt they knew each other superficially. After all, Dr. Mikotaba was here studying After all, Dr. Mikotaba was here studying his subject for some 6 years in total. 6 years? It's a long time to be studying abroad, isn't it? You've been here for a year, I think. I lived with my grandmother in those years. So he left his newly born daughter behind and went overseas for 6 whole years. Isn't Iris 10? Sorry, I was just randomly thought about that. It's like, speaking of young, wasn't Iris also born like 10 years? She's 10. So, yeah. It was a rather turbulent time at home. Oh. Perhaps. Father wanted a reason to get away. What do you mean? Why? You want to say? Well, Clearly something was going on at the time. Susato's like, I don't want to talk about it. Lord Van Zeeks. Why are we talking about Lord Van Zeek? Genuinely don't remember. I wanted to ask you about Lord Van Zeeks, actually. I heard that his older brother was killed some years ago. Oh, okay. This should have been so okay. Anyway, moving on. By a mass murderer known as the Professor, who targeted nobles and royalty. Is that right? You Japanese are a thorough lot. Done your research well. Yes. And you could say it was that very incident that gave rise to the Reaper. What? Why? When his brother, Clint Van Zeeks, was murdered. It was just after young Barack had graduated from University of London and became a prosecutor. When the obvious criminals who managed to evade conviction in court started disappearing, rumors quickly spread throughout the capital. Londoners started to say that whenever Barack Van Zeeks went, the ghost of his dead brother wasn't far behind. Oh my word. So, Lord Van Zeeks isn't the Reaper. It's the ghost of his brother? Spooky. Also somewhat possible in this universe. We do have spirit mediums after all. And from the original trilogy, we do know of one real nasty spirit. But I don't think they have that power without a spirit medium. Yeah. No. Still. Never know. Never know with Ace Attorney. There's a distinct lack of supernatural happenings in this one. Anyway. Ever since that time, he became a very aloof figure in London's legal circles. Interesting. Oh, is that done? Oh yes, Lord Strongheart. Go ahead. It's about Professor Harebrain's experimental machine. We'd like your permission to examine the remains, if possible. I guess if I went there first, they would have just said no. Are you well versed in science, then? Not in the slightest. In fact, you could say I was barely aware of the subject at all until recently. Well, the special dispensation legally prevents investigation of the machine is... There. Well, the special dispensation legally preventing investigation of the machine is currently being annulled. Within a few hours, Dr. Smith's team of forensic experts will begin their own investigation. But I suppose until then, there's no harm in you looking at the wreckage. As long as you touch nothing. Thank you. Being able to look at it is better than nothing. And I'll be able to see it too. Yes, you will see something. Your time is up. That took 7 minutes. You'll have to excuse me now, I'm afraid. My next engagement calls. Just wondering, did I really take only 7 minutes? We are extremely sorry to have troubled you when you are so busy, my lord. I have important matters to attend to in preparation for the symposium. You understand. Bye, Mr. Busy. Ooh. You can just hear the gears going, can't you? That's kind of fun to listen to. Moving on. Oh. Okay. What new location? The forensics laboratory? I don't feel like we have a super big need to go here yet, but okay. We can go investigate. I don't think there's anything so I guess it's investigate the crime scene again or this forensic laboratory? Might as well go here. Good a place as any. I'm ignoring the scene of the incident this far. Might as well continue it. This place is creepy. I like that lamp though. Sorry, I'm kind of all over the place because I played this on my tiny little Switch screen, so my computer screen's a little bit bigger. I didn't notice the lamp. Actually, to be honest, I didn't even know what that was on the Switch screen. It's a lamp! It's like a Tiffany glass lamp! Anyway. Anyway. I believe this is it. Doctor's this laboratory. There's blood on that. That chemical smell really assaults the nose. There's plenty to assault the eyes in here, too. It looks as though the doctor isn't here. But we're here now, so we might as well do some sightseeing, don't you think? Do you really want to sightsee in this place? I wouldn't want to touch anything. Who knows what it has on it? What a seasoned tourist you've become, Miss Susato. You could just have a little look around, being careful not to upset any restless souls. Oh my gosh. I don't want to investigate half of this. Where can I look? Look at the skeleton. I doubt there's anything worth looking at the skeleton. How about this? I suppose this is Dr. Smith's desk. Ugh. I would not like to work in a place like this. I still would want that lamp. It's very tidy, though, isn't it, Mr. Naruhodo? I imagine how efficiently she must work. The lighting is poor, which is bad for the eyes. And the chemical smell can't be good for you. Yeah, you know, yeah, I would agree with that. I would not work in a place with a bunch of chemicals. Not to mention the skeleton watching over you as you work, which is definitely bad news for the nerve. Well, which is definitely bad for the nerves. Unless skeletons don't freak you out. I doubt coroners are going to be very afraid of skeletons. Sinking suspicion. Well, yes, those are valid concerns, I suppose. I can just about cope with the one-eyed Daruma doll watching over me, but that's all. Do you not like getting stared at, Ryunosuke, by inanimate objects that appear to have eyes? Is that the real problem here? Oh, it flickered. I think without the check mark. On the book? Oh my gosh. Okay, there we go. Look at this big, thick book here. Ah, it appears to be an accounting ledger. It's a record of the forensic investigation team spending, I think. Oh? What is it? It's clear that the team purchases various equipment and supplies on a monthly basis, but... Well, one entry seems rather strange. Really? In what way? They're buying 500 scalpels every month. 500? They must be working really hard on dissecting corpses. I don't even want to think about that. I don't know. Judicial autopsies are only carried out in certain special circumstances. And scalpel blades can be sharpened, too. It does seem a bit strange. You're right. 500 scalpels in a month. What are they possibly using all of them for? To stab brick walls? Oh, that... What are you doing? Ah! Hi. You have a snake on your glove. Are you referencing... Oh, what is his name? He's one of Apollo's kids. The god Apollo, not Apollo Justice. Of one of Apollo's kids. Ooh. It's, Oh, come on. He's a character in the Fate Grand Order. He's a caster type, I think. What was his name? I look him up. It's like Greek. And he has snakes. Scupples? Something like that? Scupples? Yeah, he got... It's like one of the only stories, I think, in like... Well, one of the few stories about people getting resurrected. That usually doesn't happen. Because, you know, the whole underworld and Hades and yada yada. Not exactly a thing that normally happens. But, you know, Apollo the god. It's like one of the kids of Zeus. So Apollo went to Zeus and was like, can I have my son back? So we got Asclepius? Oh, yeah. Asclepius. I can't pronounce it. Asclepius. I'm sure there's other pronunciations of it, I mean, other languages and all that, but... Asclepius. Yeah. Just look up Apollo's kids, not Apollo Justice, to clarify again, because I am playing an Ace Attorney game. I feel that needs clarification. It's like if I start talking about the goddess Athena, I have to clarify. I'm talking about the goddess Athena, not Athena Christ. Even though this is great Ace Attorney. They are not even born yet. It's like, that's some years in the future, but still, I feel the need to clarify. All the same. Especially since I brought him up earlier in the stream. Anyway, moving on. Sorry, we, had something we wanted to ask you. But you weren't here, so... So you thought you'd snoop around. That's acceptable to you people from the east, is it? Well, what do you want? Lord Strong has told us, you see, that it was you who examined the victim's body. Mr. Asman's body, I mean. So we came to ask you about your findings. On Lord Strongheart's advice. I almost said on Lone Strongheart's advice. That sounds hilarious. Hello. Very well. If the Lord Chief Justice has given his consent, I'll tell you what our investigation revealed. But when we're done, you must leave immediately. I think Naruhodo would gladly do that. Your finding. So, you want to know what the forensic investigation team determined from its examination of the scene? The victim, Mr. Odie Asman, who disappeared from the experimentation stage amid an explosion. And the Mr. Asman who appeared moments later, partway up the Crystal Tower, were without question one and the same person. That is the team's conclusion. But that can't be right. If it was an elaborate trick, we can only speculate about how it was carried out. Let's see, if two people who look very similar to each other were involved, they could have made it appear as if one single person had switched places, couldn't they? Very true. But sadly, in this instance, that was not the case. The man who disappeared and the man who subsequently reappeared was the same person. The fingerprints at the scene make that quite evident. Ah, fingerprints. They're not yet officially recognized as forensic evidence in in the British justice system. I can read, I swear. But one day, they'll be used as an investigative aid as a matter of course. Don't I know it? I was playing the Apollo Justice Trilogy game, and we have definitely been using fingerprints. It's kind of fun. You do a lot of crazy things in the 3 games Apollo was a part of. You do a lot of crazy stuff, to be honest. I was going through it, I'm like, you do all kinds of things trying to get through the cases Apollo's involved in, don't you? Jeevers. I was kind of surprised. Oh my gosh, I just realized there's a red-eyed raven up there above the skeleton. Also an owl. Hello, taxidermy birds, no doubt. Dear. Oh my, that would mean that the instantaneous kinesis actually took place. So, where does that leave us? My team was asked with investigating, not drawing conclusions. Instantaneous kinesis is impossible, and yet the body did move from one place to the other. This hasn't cleared anything up at all. It's made the whole thing even more of a mystery. Maybe there was like a pulley system, or there was more to the hot air... Well, it wasn't hot air balloon, it was a gas balloon. Oh, yeah, that really is the only thing we have to say here, okay. Oh, hi! You're different. Mama, what's this? Where did she spring from? And she just called the doctor Mama. This is a lawyer, dear. Oh. Hello. To meet you. Pleased to meet you. Ryunosuke's really freaked out. Yes, I'm a defense lawyer. Mama. Yes. Can I cut this one up? No! What? Oh my gosh. I've never seen inside an Eastern person before. I want to know what it looks like. No! Hands off! Of course you can't. A live specimen, as you can very well see. What is wrong with your daughter, lady? What kind of mom are you? Boring. I think I just had a near-death experience. Yes, run. Oh dear, Mr. Naruhodo, you're as pale as a corpse. And let's leave before I'm mistaken for one. Oh no. Okay, she's just gonna be there. Okay, now let's go back to the experimentation stage. We're trucking along. Hello. I just see the big break in the glass and I'm just fixated on it. Okay. Oh! Gina has a puppy! I had no idea there were so many people in the world. I know what you mean. It's really packed here today. You'd be shocked to learn there's over 8 billion people nowadays. There's a lot of people. I was surprised to hear that recently, that passed the 8 billion mark. I was like, geez, it feels like it was only yesterday. We're at 7.5. Really is a lot of people in the world. It feels as though it's taken us 2 hours just to make our way through the crowds to this point. Has it? I shut my brain down, so I didn't really notice, to be honest. Gosh, I do wish I had your absence of mind sometimes, Mr. Naruhodo. Ryunosuke, either the most observant person in the room, or he don't know no things. There you are. I had a feeling you lot would show your mugs before long. Oh wait, it's not Gina. It's... okay. Oops. Oops. Oh, Inspector Gregson. I see you're hard at work as usual. I suppose even if I read that neutrally, it'd still be having a lady's voice. Warm greetings to you. I do hope you've been keeping well since we last met. What's with all the ceremony? We just saw each other in court this morning. Not you, Sunshine. The gentlewoman so loyally at your side. Oh. Why, thank you, Inspector. How good of you to notice. He might be a bit rough around the edges. He's still a proper English gentleman at heart, I suppose. As you probably guessed, we're hoping to investigate the scene some more. Right, well, that's the young trainee's domain. Oi! Get over here, Gina! She's getting furiously licked by the puppy. She seems to be busy playing with a puppy. Probably giving it a traditional East End training. Gina? She's a police officer now? Alright, Suzato doesn't know that. Amazing, isn't it? He's like, I just found out today! Or yesterday. Was the incident yesterday? Did they meet each other yesterday? I don't quite remember. It was either today or yesterday for Ryunosuke. He's a good kid, actually. Heart's in the right place, anyway. She's got the detection bug, if you ask me. She is pretty nosy. Yep, I think she'll be following my footsteps nicely. What do you mean? I'm being transferred. Time for me to say toodaloo to London. Oh no, really? That's a bit sudden, isn't it? I had no idea. Where are you going to be posted then? I'd like to come see how you're getting along. Haha, not likely. But you're welcome to try. If you don't mind a trip to France, that is. To France? I'll be working in the Paris Police Prefecture. Should be right up my alley. But France? It's an entirely different country. I don't understand. Why would you be sent there? That's the way the adult world works, Sunshine. Now don't go poking your noses in where it's not wanted. Strange things are happening. I'm intended to take the kid with me when I go. What? You're taking Gina to Paris? Well, I can't leave her here in London. Who knows what become of her? I suppose these words just slip back into slipping her hands into people's pockets and purses. I don't think he's worried about her pickpocketing, Mr. Naruhodo. I think he's worried about the Reaper. Oh, of course. So that's playing on Inspector Gregson's mind too, is it? Anyway, I haven't mentioned any of this to Gina, so don't go blabbing, you hear me? No, of course not. I've got to keep that diving diva safe and sound. Until all this is over, at least. Oh. Oi! Did you just call me a bloomin' diving diva again? I don't think Gina appreciates the nickname. So you heard that, did ya? Right, well. Any questions about the scene you can put, to my capable detective diva here. Did he leave? Alright, you heard the boss. Inspector Lestrade's in charge here now. I suppose I better keep my word and not mention anything about Paris. So, Gina, you got a new dog, have you? Pappy. Puppy! Isn't he great? Toby's his name. Like short for Tobias. Did you name the dog after Gregson? Oh, how delightful! He's absolutely adorable! Yes, the dog does seem lovely. But it's not so lovely Inspector Gregson that's playing on my mind, to be honest. We get a talk? Yes, we do. Okay. Why did that switch? Maybe I was right. If you don't go over talk to Strongheart in the forensic place, you don't get to investigate. I don't really remember, to be honest. But knowing how the game usually goes, that's probably it. Do I want to continue a bit more? Yeah, maybe. I'll get to the scene and see about what happens next. Investigate the scene. Gina, we were actually hoping you could investigate this, that we could investigate the scene again. Yeah, alright. If it's around here, you can do what you like. Oh, that's alright, is it? I'm gonna be playing with my new friend here. Ah, yes, Toby. Bark. Oof. The machine that exploded must be atop of those stairs, I presume. I haven't actually seen it yet. So if you don't mind. Sorry, you can't go up there. Snooze. Oh! Like I told Odo yesterday, even I ain't allowed near that wreck. What's it called again? The reason we ain't supposed to touch it? A special dispensation for science equipment act. Is that what you're thinking of? That's the one. That's why only them lot are allowed to investigate it. What are they called again? The forensic something? The forensic investigation team? Is that what you're thinking of? That's the one, yeah. But isn't it the case that the special dispensation has been lifted? I think so. I don't really get it, to be truthful with ya. You're still supposed to get permission for some bigwig or other, as far as I know. What was his name again? Lord Strange something? I'm not sure that's quite right, Gina. I think you mean Lord Strongheart, perhaps. That's the one, yeah! Apparently, he's always watching the time or something. He sure is. Actually, we just recently been to see Lord Strongheart. Eh? You what? You met him? Last time the boss was called to go and see him. He waited for 3 hours at the Cove's office and came back sniffling. Tragic. Well, Lord Strongheart has given us permission to examine the scene, as long as we touch nothing. Oh yeah? honestly. Alright then, go ahead. But if it turns out you're lying, it'll be the boss who gets it. He'll never eat another chip again in his life. So, you're still saying this is all above board, are ya? I'm sure everything will be fine. That really would be tragic. No fish and chips for Tobias. Gregson. Alright then, them's the stairs. Off you go. Oh, thank you, Gina. Are we actually gonna move up there? Okay, no. I still want to talk to her. Today's trial. It was great, weren't it? I had a right laugh. It was a new one on me, that. You know? Being in court and not spending the whole time worrying about to be found out. You did keep an awful lot of secrets in your previous court appearances, didn't you? Yeah, and Odo's made things hard for me every single time and all. Just doing my job, Gina. But watching someone else get the neck is a lot of fun, actually. It was amazing when you showed that dodgy professor's dodgy experiment was a total fix. Dodgy professor, as you put it, Gina. As Mr. Naruhodo's client. Yes, I'm starting to wish he wasn't, though. It's the boss I feel for. Sent off to do the impossible. What do you mean? He's supposed to arrest that little cove, ain't he? And in time for tomorrow and all. You know, the dodgy engineer? What's his name again? Mr. Deber, you mean? Enoch Deber. That's the one, yeah? So the police are looking for this mysterious man with the black monocle. I guess they would be. It's putting too much on the boss, if you ask me. He says it's giving him a goat eye. Oh dear. I do wonder if it isn't actually from all the fried food. Engineer's whereabouts. So, Scotland Yard are trying to track down Mr. Enoch Deber. I wonder if they had any luck. He's really funny looking. Got two eyes, well, don't match. Stole a glimpse of a picture of him earlier. I mean, I didn't actually pinch it or nothing. The old devil's got it. Sorry, who? You know, the scowling reaper what's always lugging down a glass of that bloody red punk. I like Gino sassing Zeeks. Ah, Lord Van Zeek. Do we ever actually see him drink this stuff? He just pours it out and throws it around. Are we sure he ever drinks it? He's always had it in for me, that cove. Don't know what he's always scowling about, mine. Probably wouldn't be a pretty good boss, as it goes. I'd rather be the Reaper's apprentice than a detective's trainee. Wait, what? Probably would have been a pretty good boss as it goes. Oh. The way I see it. The choice is between a chip-guzzling detective and a chalice-glugging demigod. You're equally badly off with both. You know, scary. I suppose you're right. I hadn't thought of it like that. Glad we put that one to bed. Anyway, the point is, everyone at the yard's dead set on finding the fishy engineer. But there don't seem to be no clues to go on, so they're stuck. Nothing that can lead us to Deber at all? Interesting. So be the dog. Where you have puppy. Where did you find that little butt then, Gina? Oi! Don't be so flaming rude, Odo! Slight overreaction, don't you think? He ain't no mutt, alright? Toby's... how they put it. Oh yeah, a bona fide detective. Sorry? I gave him a proper title and everything. It's Chief Inspector Toby to you. Or senior than Inspector Gregson, is he? Oh, so he's a police dog, is he? The police recruit dogs now? I've heard they've already been used officially in Germany as part of their city policing. They're used for chasing criminals and such like. They have a wonderful sense of smell, after all. I have a fairly good sense of smell myself, as it happens. Do you? I can tell undergarments that have been freshly laundered from undergarments that haven't. I think most people can, Ryunosuke, and why that? Ah, that's nothing compared to this little fellow, Odo. Oh, really? According to what the boss said, once Toby Ears got a good whiff of your drawers, he could trace that scent to the other side of the world. What? To the other side of the world? You mean he could swim? Why is that what you got out of this? Mr. Naruhodo, I think you may have missed the point. By a rather wide margin. Agreed. I just can't believe this little dog has such an incredible skill. I'm telling ya, Odo, there's going to be more and more dogs doing their bit for the police in the future. Yes, I agree. Right. One of these days, they'll be barking orders at us lot, not the other way around. I mean, Missile kinda does in Ghost Trick. That's also a Shoot Takumi game. Missile's are nice about it, though. Oh dear. Sorry, Gina. I don't think I agree with your vision quite that much. Well, anyway, whatever you think about that, Toby here is Britain's first police dog. I found him down in East End the other day. Someone just had checked him out on the street. There you go. I knew she'd lifted him from somewhere. Oh, Gina, you're such a kind-hearted soul, aren't you? To children and to animals. Okay, we're done here, I guess. I think, yeah, I'll call it here. Ew! That's loud. Oh, hold on. That's less loud now. Okay, big stretch. After stream stretch. Ah! That was a good bit. I don't know if we'll get to the end next stream. But maybe? Depending on how fast the trial goes. Yeah. I think there is a slight possibility of getting through this Monday. But it's probably more likely that it'll be broken up between Monday and Friday of next week. So, woo. I'm excited. Excitement. This part's pretty interesting if I remember correctly. I also think I remember how the other cases go. Again, for some reason, my memory is really muddled about these last few cases. Except for certain parts. Those I remember. Those I remember. But yes. These are going to be interesting parts, for sure. Yeah. Unsurprisingly, the last few episodes of A Mystery are going to be the most exciting. Shocker! I'm being sassy a bit, sorry. Or maybe not. But yeah, I do hope y'all are enjoying this who have been watching The Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. We are trucking along, and I can plan on continue streaming it until we're done. I mean, to be quite honest, it's one of the things I really wanted to stream. Yeah, like Ghost Trick and Okami. There's plenty of games I want to show that don't get talked about much. Like, even... Come to think of it, even in the Ace Attorney, fandom, The Great Ace Attorney isn't as talked too much about. People mostly talk about the original trilogy a lot of times. But, I'm not even sure how... I haven't checked since the Apollo Justice trilogy came out. But yeah, even so. I guess the old-timey setting wasn't everyone's cup of tea. So yeah, also didn't have like Phoenix or Apollo in it. Discount Vampire always delivers. Have fun watching you. Van Zeeks is always a treat to watch. Oh, you know what? We didn't get to see Sherlock. Or, not Sherlock. Herlock. Sherlock is the copyrighted name. But Herlock. We didn't get to see Herlock. Ah, boo. He got mentioned, though. Ooh, yeah. Apparently I'm right on time and ending. I'm sleepy. Okay, but yeah, we are definitely gonna have more. I think my plan for next week, this is definitely next week. Yeah. The 1,000-Year-Old Door. Paper Mario and the 1,000-Year-Old Door, that is. Should release on the 23rd? Let me double check to make sure I'm not getting the date wrong. I have done that, so I should probably check. Yeah, let's see, the 1,000-Year-Old Door. Yeah, let's see. I should probably put Switch afterward, or else I'm gonna get the GameCube version, and I'm like, that's not what I need. Is it people talking about? No. Okay. I'm gonna put release. Switch release. Yeah, Switch release right there. Yeah, May 23rd. Okay, so it is. I am I didn't remember the date. It is gonna be next week on that's Thursday. At least as of Pacific time. You're somewhere else in the world. Sorry, I don't know when exactly that's gonna be. I do not know where you are, and I should not know where you are because I don't know you. Don't tell strangers. Don't like put your position on the internet. Then like people can find out. People put many things on the internet they shouldn't. Anyway, I'm not getting into that. That's not the time to get into that. But yes, Paper Mario and the 1,000-Year-Old Door, which is an old favorite of mine. So like I was also saying at the end, Princess Peach Showtime. Since we got done with Showtime, it was like perfect timing. So we'll swap the spin-off Princess Peach game for another spin-off game, even though you play as Mario in that one. But you do get segments when you play as Princess Peach. So yeah, if you are looking forward to it, or you're just curious on what the hubbub is, but you don't really want to get it yourself, because like it is turn-based and it is an older game, so you know, I don't think this is more remaster than remake. I have heard they did some quality of life, it got away some glitches and whatnot, they have the graphics up higher, yada yada. I don't know, they might have changed some like dialogue due to, I guess, you know, I wouldn't be too surprised in the intervening years from its GameCube release to its now Switch release, with apparently the Switch 2 on the horizon, that some laws got in place that make some dialogue things have to change and all that. Would not be surprised. Laws change all the time after all. But still, I am super curious as to... Because again, my impression is it's a pretty faithful, just, you know, remake. It's a remaster more than remake. But still, I want to know. I want to see this. This is an old favorite of so many people, and I definitely have it on the list of games I like. Definitely like playing it. It's one of the few turn-based games I could stand. It's only recently that I haven't mind playing turn-based. Most of my existence, I really didn't like turn-based, but I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully some of you are looking forward to that. It's fun. Should be fun. Oh yeah, another game for next week will be Stardew Valley. Finally getting around to getting back to that. I think I mentioned Stardew Valley and then just didn't mention. Yesterday with the Princess Peach game. My bad. But yeah, we're gonna have more Stardew Valley streams, I think, because I haven't gotten even to some of the other updates, let alone any of like the... What was it? No, it was the 1.5, I think, was the big update that... What was it called? Ginger Island? Something like that? Anyway, we're doing Stardew Valley because there's a whole lot of it I've never seen. I haven't even gotten the communities that are ever finished, so I'm like, I want to do that. I genuinely do. I did actually start a new personal file just to play on the new farm type, but so... I was having fun. I'm like, I'm doing better in this one than the other one. Having those 2 chickens really helps. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. You can look forward to that next week. Yeah, we're going back to the farm. We have the... what do they call it? Is it the beach farm? Yeah, it's the beach farm. They don't call it the ocean farm. I was going to call it the ocean farm, but I'm like, that's not the proper name. They call it the beach farm. Because I like fishing. So I like the beach farm, and I also like the random things that show up on the beach, so I'm having a good time. But anyway, that's what to look forward to next week, because this is the last stream of the week, so I always say, if I already have what I planned out to do next week, I do like saying what I plan to do. Of course, it's subject to change. I mean, even if I post the schedule, but that should be the plan, barring something, you know, happening. Like, maybe not getting my copy of 1,000-Year-Old Door until later. Hopefully I can get it right away. I should make up a backup plan. Do I have it? I do have other Mario games I can play. I don't know. I'll figure out a plan B in case I don't get my copy. I'll let you guys know then. But I hopefully can plan on that. I hopefully can get my copy in and all that. But yeah, so that's something to look forward to. But in any case, I do hope you liked this video stream, depending on when you're watching. If you did, I would appreciate it if you left a like or left a comment if you feel like it. And I very much do appreciate, whether it is the video, you know, the VOD, or if you're here live, I very much appreciate you taking time out of your day. Especially you my little nieceys, my little painted nieceys, my subscribers. I mean, that you stick around and watch my videos, I'm like, thank you. Because I can tell that. I don't know which one of you, but it does tell me the number of subscribers that watch my any given video, so. Hehe. I'm watching you. Okay, I'm being silly. I'm being silly. Don't feel pressured. I really am being silly. Like, if you don't want to subscribe, you don't have to subscribe. If you do want to subscribe, you can subscribe. That sort of thing, too. Like, you can stick around or not stick around. I don't want anyone to stick around that doesn't want to be here. That is not my intention. I want to show off games that don't get talked about, even if they're, like, made by AAA companies, but it's like, no one really talks about this. Like, I think the only games now that I really want to play are the World Ends With You games. Maybe I'll play those. I need to see if the first one can even be played. Well, not in handheld mode. I have to sort that out. I'm like, what are the logistics of that? I can play the second one, I know just fine, but I played the remake of the first one? I don't know. But anyway. That's it for this stream and this week, so hopefully y'all painted nieceys are looking forward to next week. And for now, I must bid you all a fond farewell with my signature bye-bye! And I hope to see you another time.